Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for coming back. So today I wanted to give new real estate agents 5 tips for having a successful career. So when I first started out, I feel like I was given some really not great advice. I mean, it was really sort of like be a bull in a china shop sort of a thing. And that really went against everything internally that, I stood for. I always wanted to be super authentic and honest and transparent. And, I was sort of taught that I should just go in there, gangbusters, and under no circumstances do you ever leave a house without a listing being signed. So look, that may work for a lot of people, but for me, it just wasn't sort of my jam. So I managed to navigate my own way and have had a steady stream of successful years ever since. Tip number 1. I know you must have it in your mind what a real estate agent must look like, right? You're probably thinking of some tie or super buttoned up. And listen, if that's you, by all means, go for it. But if that's something that makes you really uncomfortable, that's really going to come across when you meet people. So I'm not saying to go in like a jeans and t-shirt kind of a vibe. I'm saying that you must look professional, but you also have to kind of stay true to who you are. So, you've got to feel confident. You have to feel comfortable, because if you go in and you meet with someone new and you feel uncomfortable in the clothing that you're in, it is definitely going to translate to that person. And if you don't feel comfortable, it's really not going to give them a sense that they can count on you and trust you with one of the largest things in their life, which is usually the selling of their house or the purchase of a new house. Number 2, confidence will always beat out cockiness 100% of the time. I mean, listen, it is imperative that when you go in and you meet someone for the first time, that you have a level of confidence. Think of it this way. If you had to have heart surgery and you went and met with heart surgeons and they kind of were a little bit wobbly and seemed like they maybe didn't really know what they were doing or didn't know what they were talking about, I mean, are you really going to let that person cut you open and work on your heart? I mean, the same goes really for any industry. If you can't go in and have some type of confidence about yourself, no one is really going to trust you with something so important like their real estate needs. So take a deep breath, have some confidence, have some faith in yourself that you can handle this, and that will definitely translate to whomever you are meeting. Tip number 3. I know everyone in real estate talks about location, location, location. Well, I have actually 3 different ones. It's listen, listen, listen. When you're going to meet someone for the first time, especially if you're going to list their house, you really want to listen. You really want to find out who they are, what's motivating them to sell. You can go in and you can brag about yourself, and honestly, I don't think that they're really going to remember you. I think the people that they remember the most are the ones that really listen, because if you're listening, you're telling that client that what they're saying is important. It's important to you, that you hear them, right? So acknowledging, nodding your head and listening and taking mental notes is much better than going in and talking about how many things you've sold or what you've done or your awards or blah, blah, blah. They don't really care. They can really look all that up on the internet, or you'll have that in your package when you go to meet them. Buyers as well. Listen, it's really important to listen to what these people want. What clicks off all of the boxes for them? Do they need to have an attached garage? Where is the room they spend the most amount of time? So you want to make sure that you focus on listening so that you can really understand what people's needs are, so you can therefore go ahead and go out and meet those needs. Number 4, you must know the area that you are going to meet with someone wanting to list their home, or the area that you will be taking buyers into. This is imperative. You must know this area like the back of your hand. Even if you've never been to this area before, make sure prior to meeting with a seller or buyers that you really go, drive around, get to know the area, find out where the local park is, find out about the school district. Also, what's really important is that if you know this area, and let's say that you can't find something for your buyers, it's important to know that there may be another area that is so similar to this one, another city, that you can then recommend that particular area. And that's going to go over really, really well, because it's really going to mark you as an expert when it comes to real estate. And finally, tip number 5, be prepared. Now, whether you're meeting with a seller to potentially list their home or you're meeting with buyers to find out what they might be looking for, make sure you have all of your documents with you. If you're going for a listing appointment, make sure that you not only have researched the solds in the area, so you have your comps, but also research what's on the market currently. I mean, it's really important to understand how many houses are for sale. So supply and demand. If there's a huge lack of supply right now, that's obviously going to be a motivating factor for someone to want to list their home because, of course, it's less competition for them. When it comes to a buyer, you want to make sure that you have all of your information about interest rates and the market and the state of the market and what people are projecting might happen in the future. So that way you can kind of prepare them and let them know, is it a good time to buy? Should they wait? Should they gently start looking? Also, try to explain to them the whole process of buying a home. And if you don't understand that, make sure that you've researched that and you have that with them so you can then explain it to a potential buyer, the entire process from finding a house to closing escrow.